Hello and welcome to IndianExpress.com. The United Nations General Assembly has become a platform for India and Pakistan's showdown just days after, in fact, the Uri attack that has taken place, which is considered one of the worst assault on the Indian Army. To analyze this further, I'm joined by my colleague Shubhajit Roy, who will give us more perspective on this entire issue. Shubhajit, the fact that US Secretary of State John Kerry, in fact, on the sidelines of the UNGA, met Nawaz Sharif today, and he requested Sharif to isolate, in fact, all the terrorists and say that probably the terrorists from using Pakistan territory as a safe haven. How do you analyze the statement that John Kerry has made?
Well, it's a significant statement given it comes in the backdrop of the Uri attack and also the recent violence that's been going on in Kashmir. So, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif is on a visit to US during this UNGA summit, and during this summit he is likely to meet a lot of American political leaders as well as other global leaders. So in that context, when John Kerry he met, they talked about the current situation in Kashmir, about the violence, and also he expressed concern in the wake of the Uri attack. So this essentially means that the US also wants that the tension should not escalate, and they want Pakistan to not give safe haven to terrorists, and therefore there is no scope for any sort of tension escalating between India and Pakistan. Secondly, they've also talked about the keeping a restraint on the nuclear weapons which Pakistan possesses, and which is a major cause of international worry, especially in the wake of this heated debate between India and Pakistan. What kind of retaliatory measures India takes and how does Pakistan react. So in that context, this meeting assumes immense significance.
Right, but the fact that India will be willing to will be cornering Pakistan at a global forum, we do understand how Sushma Swaraj will be taking up this issue at a global forum. What is the key things on the agenda?
So Sushma Swaraj will be traveling to New York on the 24th, and she is likely to address the United Nations General Assembly on the 26th of September. As we understand from our sources, she's likely to raise the Uri attack, and also the Pathankot terror attack, which took place early this year, and also how Pakistan is sort of fomenting trouble in India in Kashmir. The other strategy that is still being discussed and is likely to be enunciated by Sushma Swaraj during her speech is the human rights violations in Balochistan and Pakistan occupied Kashmir. As you would recall, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he raised the issue of Balochistan and Gilgit-Baltistan and POK and human rights violations in these areas in Pakistan as a counter to Pakistan's allegations of human rights violations in Kashmir.
Right.
So this is how possibly India has been raising the issue of human rights violations in Balochistan in the last 2-3 weeks in UN Human Rights Council in Geneva, where there has been a lot of debate between India and Pakistan. Both have made statements. So in New York, which is like the most prestigious and highest body in international politics, at the floor of the UNGA, India will make this point, and she will try to isolate Pakistan diplomatically. That is the plan.
Right. Shubhajit, also tell us, how is India trying to isolate Pakistan by gathering international support on an international forum?
So, taking off from what I said earlier, Sushma Swaraj will, apart from addressing the UN and raising these issues that I highlighted, she will also have a lot of bilateral meetings with other world leaders, other political groups there, and will be raising the issue there. Apart from that, the Indian Ministry of External Affairs is working with different foreign governments and trying to get condemnatory statements on the Uri attack. In the last 48 hours, we have seen condemnatory statements from all the P5 countries, which are the permanent members of the UN Security Council: US, UK, France, China, and Russia, and also the SAARC member countries. Now, the next plan is, and which is also unfolding as we speak, is to get as many condemnatory statements as possible from the OIC countries.
Okay.
As you would recall, OIC is always very critical of India's position on Kashmir, on human rights violations, and usually toes Pakistan's line in the global fora.
Right.
So OIC, if individual members of OIC makes condemnatory statements, then India will portray it as isolating Pakistan diplomatically. So far we have got 4 or 5 big members, key members of OIC: Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, UAE, Qatar, and of course three countries who are part of OIC but also in our neighborhood are Maldives, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh,
Right.
to condemn the terror attack in Uri. So India is trying to stitch together a broad-based support, international support against the terror attack, and also trying to isolate Pakistan diplomatically.
Right, clearly there we are receiving widespread condemnation globally as far as the Uri attack is concerned. Thank you, Shubhajit, for getting us all these details. For more news and updates, log on to IndianExpress.com.